This is my most important tip on craft. And I've noticed that a lot of writers have been getting lazy, or their editors don't teach them this, or they haven't figured it out yet. But I actually figured it out after I did my first novel and it was sold, and my editor told me I needed to cut like 80,000 words. And I made that first cut and I still needed more words. And so I had to figure it out. And here's what the tip is. And it's all about craft. And if you do this, your book and your writing is going to actually read faster, and people are going to just think you're a better writer, probably because it kind of makes you become a better writer. Here's the tip. As much as you can, get rid of every bit of he said, she said, asked, queried, surmised, all those little dialogue tags. Get rid of them. You don't need them. Instead, use that space to have an action that character is taking, and then add their dialogue. So let's say Amanda threw the dish across the kitchen. I deserve better than you. You don't need to add in she said after I deserve better than you. We know who's talking because she just threw a dish at us. And so that's what you do. And your reader knows this. You don't need to say she said or yelled or anything like that. She threw a dish. She's pretty mad. We can imagine in our heads the sound of her voice. And then a secondary thing that you can do with that action, if you really want to amp up your writing, is to make that little piece of action either a metaphor for what the dialogue is talking about, or make it something that really visibly expresses an internal feeling of what that person is maybe saying, but not totally expressing. So imagine this example. My mother wringed the towel tightly until every drop of water came out. Your dad's really sick. So we understand there, like, she's got some tension going on in her body. She's probably worried. She's stressed out. Her husband's really sick, right? So that's an example of the action really complementing what's being said. And then the other way, the metaphor would be something like, let's say the scene is about gardening, but the grandmother or the parent is talking about having patience with building your career or learning something new or working on a relationship. So those things that are great metaphors for a scene. So I'm not saying don't ever use he said, she said, but as much as possible, get rid of it. And you don't need to do this on your first pass. Do this in your editing so you don't have to worry about it. But that's the thing you should check for. As you're editing your rough draft, go through every place where you have a he said, she said, and put in some kind of action to bring that scene to life and bring that character and all their little foibles and idiosyncrasies. Put that in there instead of the he said, she said. And you really see that your writing is just gonna kind of take off and be more interesting. Your characters are gonna be more interesting, and the pace of the reading will go much faster. I hope that helps.